Absolutely. It's a nervous system aggravating injection. It's bad for your brain. It's bad for your nervous system. And it's bad for your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to a future flu. In fact, this brings me back to the Bill Gates quote, which is, you know, he says, one way to reduce, or if we do a good job on vaccines and healthcare, he says, we could reduce the world population by 10 to 15%. That's pretty close to...
Here's your article today from Natural News. Here it is.
Okay, right. So that's, here's, yeah. He says, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that, which he's talking about the world population, by perhaps 10 to 15%. Well, how do you lower the population with vaccines? You weaken people's immune systems, you make them more susceptible to future infections, and then you just wait for something to come along, or you introduce something.
They have a word for it. This is called a binary weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You've got to have both elements in place. One of them could be a wild virus, but the first element is the vaccine.
Well, now we're learning stuff in vaccines, viruses and RNA, is one of the things triggering Americans to be more obese. Not just the diet, it's that we're eating all this GMO and we're being shot up with these vaccines that are just frying us.
I think that there is an effort to diseaseify, if I could use that made-up word, to diseaseify America. And it's working.
It's a pestilence.
It is. Because they know that most Americans, they're going to spend every last dollar, and they're going to give up their freedoms to try to save their lives if they're promised some kind of...
Yeah, these soft kill weapons, and I've actually seen the studies, it's designed, the stuff they're shooting you in vaccines are RNA packages, literally nanotech they've designed. That's what a virus is. It's natural nanotech. They argue, is it alive, you know, or isn't it? But the point is, it's like a computer program that the viruses get into your cells, DNA, and mitochondrial, and it's designed that when your hormones drop, right around the time you're leaving work, you know, right around the time that your body's starting to shut down to die over the next 20 years, we have that designed, you know, clock in us, that's when the viruses trigger. So they discovered in the 20s, the Rockefeller Foundation, and I have all their documents on this, what's so crazy, that they know then in their hormone test that, okay, you're done working, you've gone to menopause, or your testosterone's down, you're past 60. Now that's when this stuff gets triggered, and then you get cancer and die. I mean, it's so diabolical.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you're going to spend the most money on healthcare.
Yeah, all your money you save goes to them.
Exactly. You work your whole life, and you end up spending every last penny, dying, suffering, and broke. Because chemotherapy creates a lot of suffering. Think about this. When people go out and they think they're raising money for cancer research, you know, these pink ribbon runs, let's raise money for cancer. Most of that money goes to these mammogram, they have trucks with these portable radiation mammogram machines that will drive out to low-income areas of a major city, and they will irradiate women's breasts.
And they admit now it's increasing cancer, yes. But imagine, no one would ever think that in the name of fighting cancer, they're out there spreading it.
They're causing it.
That's what's so genius about these people.
Oh,
no one could ever imagine that.
Well, they'll go out, they will specifically target, let's say, African-American neighborhoods, and they will essentially give breast cancer to these women. And then, because they know that these women, when they have...
Well, they now admit ultrasound's brain-damaging babies. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're exactly right. I mean, most of these screening procedures are actually causing the very diseases that they claim to detect. But they know that an African-American woman who is given breast cancer through mammography is a cash cow, so to speak. I mean, I don't mean anything derogatory by that term. That's their term. They look at that woman as a walking ATM. They can extract money from her with up to $1 million in cancer.
And the more funding they put into fighting breast cancer, the more it happens.
Exactly. And when you donate to breast cancer by buying pink products, this is an insane idea. What, you think you can cure cancer by going shopping? Come on, that doesn't work. This money goes to actually causing more breast cancer.
In fact, guys, people won't believe that. Search the term, study shows mammograms increase cancer. And it's like mainstream news.
Well, it's radiation. The story that I often reference on our site is that 10 women are harmed by mammography for every one woman that's actually helped, where they actually detect a tumor early. And
a lot of times they find, like my grandmother, they said, you've got lung cancer. And when they chopped her lung out, it wasn't cancer. It was a broken blood vessel that had made a clot.
It's very often the case. There's a lot of false diagnosis.
And then that ended up basically soft killing her. I mean, she had a hellish life for the last 10 years of her life.
Well, you know, radiation and poison and cutting people open, you know, this should not be called medicine, Alex. This is really a war against the American people framed inside the context.
Well, no, that's what I figured out, not just from the documents. I'm realizing the cell phones, the mobile trucks that are 10 times the chest x-ray, the naked body scanners, all the scientists saying it's deadly. They now tell the workers just go up and run it. They are, just like the Pentagon radiated 4,000 foster children to death, they're now radiating all of us and their own troops. We're all being murdered by the eugenicist and Bill Gates right now. We'll be right back. I'm going to state it again, if you're a new listener. There are over 10,000 declassified reports, this is in my film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, of U.S. populations, blacks, Hispanics, the military, they really hate the military, being radiated, foster children being put in chambers and fried like eggs. They would kill them instantly, or they'd give them lower dosage. They paid the Israeli government to irradiate 110,000 Sephardic children who are seen as lower class because they're dark-skinned. That's all covered in Endgame. I mean, all these governments are doing this to create cadres of scientists that will kill people. And we got secret Marine Corps reports from the Sunshine Project. They made a big fracas 10 years ago. They had to remove them, but we've covered them here. And they're still at the Google Wayback Machine archive. People can still find them, even though the Marine Corps ordered them down, where they have plans in every major city with knockout gases, but also kill gases, and helicopters in armored facilities. And now they're moving to drones, so if the pilots refuse, it won't matter, that are ready to take off. I'm not kidding. Take off and knock out entire cities or kill entire cities. Now, folks, you cannot make this stuff up. And that's why they're going to a full drone Air Force where, you know, somebody like Dick Cheney in the future, Dr. Evil, can just hit the button. We're not joking. Why would you take any vaccines or any GMO food that they pitch at you when this is their stated plan to kill you, but kill you slowly and suck all of your money out of you in the process? Mike Adams, you're going to be with us for 40 minutes in the next hour. Then I'm going to blitz news the last 20 minutes. This is a short segment. But you've covered the GMO salmon. You got a bunch of other issues you want to get into. Hit it.
Federal Trade Commission earlier this week went after the Palm Wonderful company. This is the company that makes the pomegranate juice that, you know, we've documented many of the health benefits of pomegranate juice. And by the way, I don't have any financial ties with that company, just reporting it. Pomegranate juice prevents prostate cancer. It helps prevent heart disease. It is a fantastic natural medicine from pomegranate seeds. It's very powerful.
We're supposed to eat food. I mean, food is medicine.
That's exactly it. Well, the FTC takes an issue with the fact that this company is telling people the truth about some of the health benefits of pomegranates. And they are now claiming that this company is really engaging in criminal activity. And the FTC has done this in many cases, many times, with other companies, natural product companies, and they have forced them, they've threatened them with criminal prosecution, and they have forced them to sign what are called consent decrees. And I've seen these. I've had companies send them to me covertly. They didn't want to be on the air, but they would send them to me because they want me to know what's in these. And in these consent decrees, there is language that says you must admit to committing these crimes. And the crimes are, they're crimes you never even committed. They are that you have been trafficking in drugs. Because, you see, they can consider the pomegranates to be a drug according to the FDA's definition.
No, I've seen SWAT team raids on people growing just regular herbs, things like aloe vera.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, these government agencies get crazy. When you start telling people the truth about something that can prevent disease, because remember, you're denying revenue to the pharmaceutical industrial complex.
Which is the Rockefeller Mafia.
Exactly. So if you start costing them money, the government's going to come after you. And they can do that either through the FTC or the FDA, sometimes the USDA, although I got to give the USDA credit for their organic labeling program. That's actually a really good program. They've done a good job with that element. But overall, the government is attacking and destroying natural health and natural product companies.
And now they're really going after the family farms with these Senate bills saying you can't pick peaches and sell them.
Right, these food safety bills. These could turn thousands of farmers across America into criminals And these are the people who are growing the food we're trying to get locally. You know, these are the ones growing the non-GMO food that we need to be eating. And these are the people being targeted. All
right, Mike, stay there. We're coming back live in the 4th hour. It is Friday, October 1st. Stay with us. Back in 70 seconds. It is hour number 4. If you're watching the radio show at prisonplanet.tv, we're showing screenshots of one of the great books put out by the Health Ranger, Mike Adams, here in studio with us. He's like, don't plug my books. Don't plug. I'm not here for that. But I'm going to plug them. Natural Health Solutions and the Conspiracy to Keep You from Knowing About Them. Mike Adams, America's #1 consumer health advocate. Those are available at naturalnews.com. Spam filters for your brain, how to navigate through the lies, hype, and mind games of food, drug, and cosmetic industries. Mike Adams, all available at his website. I think I ought to carry your books and videos at Infowars.com, because I know they're amongst the best research out there. We do have Mr. Smith's material dealing with the genetic roulette and all the GMO and the rest of it. Now, this is a short segment. I want to fire the phone number out for listeners. If you have a question or a comment for Mike Adams, you won't need those headphones yet. We're going to we'll go to calls in about 10 minutes. 1-800-259-9231. 1-800-259-9231, specifically on all these major health issues that we are talking about. But they really are, Mike, trying to bully us into saying, okay, radiate me at checkpoints. Okay, don't let me know I'm eating GMO. Okay, shut down a company that shows the mainline studies that pomegranate is just full of incredible antioxidants and all this other stuff in it. But you've got a bunch of other issues that dovetail with that. Meanwhile, they're saying, feed babies GMO soy that's half sugar.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people heard about the product. It was a voluntary recall by the maker of infant formula called Similac. Here's a product shot right here, Similac. And the company said, well, some of the containers may have beetles or beetle larvae in them. And I got to thinking, well, what else is in there? Because I'm not sure that the beetles are the most dangerous thing in the can.
That might be the only good thing in there. Bugs are actually pretty good. The only nutritious thing in it is the beetles.
So I went out.
It's kind of like, you know, like the prize in a Cracker Jack box is the beetle. Oh, something edible.
Exactly. Living foods, right? So anyway, I bought this, and I took a look at the ingredients label, and it just shocked me, Alex. It freaked me out. And I've seen a lot of crazy foods. But this label says, look at the #1 ingredient on here. 42.6% corn syrup solids. That's #1.
But that's what a baby needs, is 42.6% corn syrup, because everybody knows how good corn syrup is. What are you, some kind of conspiracy theorist?
I guess so. And on top of that, 10.1% sucrose, which is essentially table sugar.
Well, you wonder why the public's so dumb. They've been getting fed this for decades. I talk to people, and they're like zombies. Well, pretty soon, if you can tie your shoelaces, you'll be a rocket scientist.
And here's the kicker. This formula, as far as I know, and I asked around, but this formula is covered under state WIC programs. So you can use government money to feed your baby this.
To learn more about this and other vital topics, visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast, or subscribe to the free podcast at Infowars.com. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.